Hello to our boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. And today we just received word of some breaking news, I suppose, coming to us courtesy of the IBA. Now, we used to report on them regularly and their goings-on around the time of the Olympics a couple of years ago. But they've just made an interesting announcement with respect to a partnership, I believe. And let me just get into that before we get into the typical normal headlines of the day, including headlines featuring Tyson Fury and Derek Chisora, who will go toe-to-toe in a few days' time, which I'm sure will be covered quite extensively by Holly Donovan. Speaking of female boxing, by the way, let me just quickly note here. I love the way there's a bit of an uprising on Twitter when I checked my Twitter this morning. Hey, World Boxing Organization, when will you finally have female ratings? The time has come. It would be relevant for everyone to know who's mandatory and who's your top 10. Female fighters deserve transparency and fans too. Anyway, I thought I'd start off with that before I start off with this, which is about the IBA. So let me have a quick look here at their press release. It's kind of a lengthy one, but I do think it's kind of important. Let me go through, because there's a couple of interesting things that they've done. Remember, this used to be the AIBA. Anyway, an exciting new adventure is soon to be announced in 2023 to follow on from previous iterations that combine both IBA and professional boxing. The IBA Pro Series will introduce greater opportunities in support of those boxers who have gained high-level success at the international level, and this includes World Olympic Confederation and multi-sport medalists, along with the incorporation of the IBA World Boxing Tour. Ranking points will be gained throughout each of these championships, which in turn will support and bridge the gap for our boxers between both the amateur program and the brand new IBA Pro Series. Professional boxers will also be invited to compete dependent on contract. The IBA Pro Series will be launched with an exhibition bout card to take place in Abu Dhabi during the Global Boxing Forum on December 11th, 2022. So that's coming up in a few weeks. And there will be 7 IBA Pro Series bouts, and the boxers will form a night of champions from both past and present elite champion medalists. They go on to list a few of the names who will take part. But what I want to announce related to this story is the format of the event for the December 11th will be bouts boxed over 5 by 3 minute rounds, and for the males, and 5 by 2 minute rounds for the females who are selected. It is planned 7 3-minute rounds and 7 2-minute rounds could be brought into the program throughout 2023. The 10-point must scoring system will be used for all 5 rounds, and each round will be adjudicated by 5 judges. The IBA weight categories will be followed: 13 in the men's division, 12 in the women's, and with those weights selected dependent on the availability of boxers and ranking points gathered throughout the year. Now, the biggest change will be the introduction of IBA female boxers to the professional theme. As noted, female elite boxers will compete over 5 by 2 minute rounds. And what comes with these significant changes will be the removal of head guards, a milestone in the history of IBA, which will change the face of amateur boxing during the remaining evening of December 11th and the remaining years to come, with fantastic setting of Abu Dhabi and United Arab Emirates as its starting point. So anyway, we're going to have a more detailed analysis of the format, which will be presented ahead of Night of Champions, taking place, as I said, in Abu Dhabi, which is hoped to provide further information to prepare those boxers who will fall into those future selection criteria. Fantastic stuff coming out of the IBA. Good changes, in my opinion. Alrighty, speaking of changes, we'll see if there's any changes to the Tyson Fury-Derek Chisora fight upcoming for the WBC World Heavyweight Championship. Let's have a quick look here. Yes, I mentioned this yesterday. Daniel Dubois will be making his first defense of his title against South African challenger Kevin Lerena. I mentioned the fact that Ukrainian unbeaten Boxer Denis Berenchuk, 16-0, will go head-to-head against Ivan Mendy, the French champion. And as I said, Frank Warren's pretty excited about this because he's got a whack of blue chip prospects on the undercard as well, including teenage prodigy Royston Barney Smith and Karol Utoma. So a quick see. No, there's no comment from Frank on this particular one. Guess he's a little busy these days, but nonetheless, there's some updates for you with respect to the upcoming Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora fight. Up next, let's go across the pond over to Glendale, Arizona, where Juan Francisco Estrada and Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez are about to meet in an epic trilogy fight on Saturday night. That's the same night that Tyson Fury will be going up against Derek Chisora. This particular fight will take place at the Desert Diamond Arena in Arizona, live on DAZN, by the way. And the super flyweight legends opened up on their remarkable journeys in the pinnacle of the sport, and the rivalry between Estrada and Chocolatito spans a decade, with the pair first meeting in Los Angeles, back in 2012. Wow, 10 years ago now. And then rematching in Dallas of 2021. Chocolatito winning the first and Estrada leveling it up in Texas. So this is going to be a good little battle. A couple of quick quotes. Chocolatito had this to say: "I was born in Managua, Nicaragua, and born to a poor family, but God has blessed me, enabling me to provide a life for my family and my children. I feel immensely proud to have come from a poor family and now to be able to show lots of youngsters if I can do it, so can they. All my fans, my people know me there. I feel proud to know that I come from a poor family, so this makes me immensely proud to know that bit by bit I've made a life for my family and flown the flag for my country." Estrada, for his part, had an awful lot to say, coming from Sonora, Mexico. "So I started out boxing at 9 years of age. Prior to that, when I was 7, my mom died. I went into boxing and followed my path, training, had fights locally and then municipal instant contests. And at 14, my father passed away, and I carried on boxing. My aunt and uncle look after me and my siblings too. I thought, now I've lost my parents, I have my siblings, my family with me, and I must achieve something. Sport was something my aunt and uncle always instilled in me, and my brother and I played every sport, but I really like boxing. My brother, who's a year older, said, 'Come on, let's do some boxing training.' And the 2 months after he joined, I said, 'Let's do it.' And we stayed there. And after a while, my brother stopped going. He wasn't a fan of the diet, but I stayed in boxing. At 14, I went to a state event in Hermosillo. I was spotted by the national boxing team trainers, Alfredo Caballero, and they said, 'Come to Hermosillo and join the Sonora boxing team.' Let's flash forward a little bit, because he has an awfully lot to say. It's all on boxing247.com. Let me see if he's got a little bit of a concluding statement here. I feel like all the sacrifice, the effort, and hard training sessions, because boxing isn't easy. I think it's one of the most difficult sports out there, and I'm happy and grateful to my trainer, Alfredo Caballero, who's been with me since I was 15. My wife and family have also supported me. I think that allows me to keep moving forward, and it makes me very happy because I feel I've achieved a lot more than I expected to. And congratulations to them, and we do look forward to the results of their particular fight. A couple of very talented British super welterweights are about to face off just prior to the day before the Fury versus Chisora tilt. Troy Williamson faces Josh Kelly in Newcastle. As I say, that'll be on the Friday night, December 2nd. And Williamson last fought Dave Benitez in September when his opponent's team threw in the towel to give him the victory. Kelly, meanwhile, fought last against the Argentine boxer Lucas Bastide, winning the vacant WBO International Super Welterweight title. That was last July. So now Williamson is saying he wants no excuses from Josh Kelly after the dust settles on their British title fight. Williamson put his super welterweight belt on the line against Kelly in Newcastle on Friday and has warned his Northeast rival that he is in trouble. A confident Kelly has predicted he will dethrone Trojan by knockout, but Williamson is at a loss as to why his challenger believes he can stop him. Instead, The champion has reiterated his long-held belief that he will wear Kelly down in the second half of that fight, questioning his opponent's heart and resilience. Them's fighting words. All right. He says, all fighters are confident and he believes himself, so good luck to him. But I don't have a clue why he thinks he's knocking me out, Williamson said. Maybe his mental coach is putting things into his head and he's believing it. I'm just hoping for the best Josh Kelly on Friday night, so there are no excuses. Josh cuts easily, and I don't think he has a huge heart. When it gets deep and tough, I think he'll fold under the pressure. When the going gets tough, Josh Kelly gets himself out of there. Wow. 12 rounds is a long time to box and move. I'm not stupid. I know he's going to be really, really tricky for the first 4 or 5 rounds, but once we get past them, he's in trouble. Wow. During intense exchanges, when filming a face-off, Kelly said the pressure was all on Williamson, but the title holder dismissed the claims. Despite what he says, said Williamson, there's no pressure on me. He put pressure on himself by saying he's going to win by knockout. But let Josh say what he wants, because on Friday night, it'll just be me and him in the ring. And let's see what he says when he's being punched in the face. Ooh, yes, sirree. Like that kind of stuff. Alrighty, let's move along to another British fighter who's being put in the ring by BCB Promotions, and that'll take place at the Hangar Events venue. I mentioned it yesterday. Taking place in Wolverhampton on December 16th. The story goes, family means everything to Ryan Whitehead as he devotes the next ring assignment to the memory of his late great-grandmother, and it's been an emotional ride for him. His great-grandfather sadly passed away in November, with bereavement also coming from Whitehead in his previous training camp when his other great-grandfather, Ronald, also died. So anyway, so he's been having some issues potentially. But the 28-year-old super middleweight is battling on with the aim of improving his pro record, which stands at 2-0 with a technical knockout registered last time out. Whitehead, who grew up in the Telford town in Oakengrades, but now lives in Muxton, stopped Steve Davies in round number 3 after a relentless onslaught. His pro debut came back in February 2020 when he completed 4 rounds to outpoint Kieran Thomas through a 40-36 scoreline. If you might remember, the very next month, COVID hit. So he was lucky to get that pro debut in, that's for sure. He's trained by ex-pro Tristan Davies, who also coaches amateurs at Donington Boxing Club, with Whitehead having aspirations of swapping the ring for the corner down the line. He's already working as a personal trainer, which is boxing focused, having previously been employed as a network engineer for City Fiber. Wow. The father of 3 is dad to Noah, Lilia, and Imogen, having previously formed a bond with his great-grandparents. Whitehead said, my grand-grandmother passed away in November, so I dedicate this fight to her. My great-granddad died 3 weeks before my last fight, and I did the same then. They had a big impact on me growing up, and it's heartbreaking. But I've been mentally put to the test, and I've had times when I wanted to pull out, but I don't have that in me. I've kept myself busy. I tend to do my personal training sessions early in the morning and late in the evening, so the rest of the time is pretty much for training and spending time with family. My niche is boxing. In a way, when I'm done, I think I might be a better coach than I was a fighter. I'm good at breaking a game down into different fundamentals. In my textbook, I teach my clients how to box on the back foot and about coming forward, which I'm more than able to do myself. I even spar with a few of them. I would hope so. I work with my clients at the Donington Boxing Club, where I used to go as an amateur, and my coach, Tristan Davies, has given me a key, so I'm there a lot. I also use the Foundry Gym out in Telford, which is one of the best places I've been to for facilities as far as they go, and it's open 24 hours a day, so it's fully equipped for boxing and bodybuilding. Quick little concluding statement here. My next opponent might be more durable, but I don't ask questions. I get in there and do the job. I'm not bothered about the rounds over 4. I just want to be entertaining in fights. Well, there you go, boxing fans. Thanks for joining me here on Talk and Fight. Appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you later on at 4 p.m. for Knuckle Up with Mike Orr and Cedric Ben. And looking forward to those fights on the weekend. See you then.